Right, it's time for our Friday stint in the pub now, where we give you the chance to air your views on the news. And on this first September Friday, we thought that we'd check out a new place, somewhere perhaps a little bit warmer. Primetime's Lucy Kaffenoff is talking to expats in a popular downtown tequila bar. It's a slight change of pace. Very good to see you there, Lucy.
Hi there. Well, unfortunately, I'm not allowed to have any tequila because I have to go back to the office after all this. But thankfully, a lot of Muscovites and expats here are not in the same kind of predicament as me. They're here to relax after a long week at work, try to, kick back, have a few brews, and talk about the news. So we are going to catch up with some of the people that have gathered here in Casa Agave. If you want to come join me. Hi, guys.
Hello.
All right. Well, we'll start with you. What's your name and what are you doing here?
I'm Sarkan, and I'm here for International Moscow Book Fair. I'm an author, and some of my stories just translated to Russian language, and today I was in International Book Fair for my presentation.
And you're definitely an international man, because we know, as we talked before we went on air, he's actually from Istanbul, my favorite city in the whole wide world, but we're in Moscow, so tell me a little bit of what you loved or maybe didn't like so much about Moscow during your time here.
I love Moscow, to be honest. When I lived in Moscow 1 year in 2011, and when they first offered me this job, I accepted quickly. And then, because the main reasons are culture is great in the city, history is great in the city, people are very nice in the city, art is the best of the world in the city. Okay, climate conditions, weather conditions are not...
Let's not talk about the weather. We don't want to get too depressed yet. I looked out the window today and noticed that half of my green leaves outside have fallen, so I got a little upset. But, one of the other things that's going on in Moscow is the smoking. A lot of smoking here, and there's some stories this week that are having to do with that. What's your take on the latest situation with the smoking ban?
To be honest, yeah, I'm totally... I believe that smoking should be banned on closed areas, on these kind of restaurants, cafes, and it's for public health. Moscow definitely, in all Russia, should definitely do that.
You come home smelling your hair smells like it, your clothes smell like it. Yeah.
You know, in Turkey 3 years ago it was banned, and in the first days there was a huge discussion like it is here, and now all people get used to that, and now all people is smiling, and when they are talking about those days they are smiling. Can you believe that we were smoking in those cafes and restaurants?
Well, they did the same thing in New York and DC, and I have to say I loved it, so I'm very happy with that. But you're not the only friend that we brought for you this evening. We also have another friend over here. Introduce yourself and tell us what you're doing here.
Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Hola, me llamo Daniel. My name is Daniel. I'm from the United States of California, as I like to say. I've been in Moscow for the past 5 years, and I have been here studying, this is odd as it may seem, Russian theater. I've been studying Russian theater for 4 years.
Great place for that.
Yes, good place for that. And so I'm finished with my studies right now, and I'm freelance actor, translator, and just a happy person living in Moscow.
Renaissance man. Well, as someone who's lived in California, also one of my favorite places. Sorry, Moscow. What are some of the favorite things that you like about this town?
About this town?
Yeah.
I'd say the cultural diversity. It's almost like it's a melting pot with all the cultures and everything. And the ability to pursue any interest. So if you're interested, for example, like me, in history, you can find just wonderful historical museum right across from here, Kremlin, etc. A lot of good architecture and stuff, so it's a good thing.
Well, speaking of history, there are some history-related news that made headlines this week. What about your guy?
Well, I was surprised that no one knows about this, It's the Battle of Borodino. It's for 200 years, 200-year-old battle that was 1812 on September. Actually, they're celebrating it today, The thing is, though, I'm surprised by the kind of pomp and circumstance, that's around a battle that historically, to be honest with you, because I studied history, it's how to say, it's a little, there's a lot of myth around it. It's not,
What do you mean?
Well, what I mean, for example, like the battle itself, it's positioned as a victory and stuff, like really great Russian victory. But by facts, it was lost. I mean, if you know maybe the history, after the Battle of Borodino, the French, they entered Moscow. So basically, I mean, you can imagine an army that's on the battle. They lost the battle, so then they enter Moscow. And I mean, and here they are, celebrating this
But it's so exciting. You can take a look at it. Who needs facts when you have fun battling accents?
I mean, no.
We love
The
facts.
thing is, we love facts, right? We love facts, and with facts come truth. And we need, it's good to know the truth. So, by the way, I mean, I'm actually working on a book. I'm translating right now. I'm translating a book of my, a good friend of mine. He's a professional historian, Russian historian, and I want to get him, known in the West and everything. I'm translating Yevgeny Ponosenko and his book that's called The Truth on the War of 1812. Truth about the War of 1812. Great thing. Hope it's going to hit stores in the West probably about 2-3 months from now. So it should be good.
Before we sit down and read, there's still more drinks to be had. I want to give you the last word here. What else caught your eye really this week that you want to talk about?
I heard about that replacement issue of this Kremlin garage cars.
Yes. Well, I think the big guys up on top should be driving local cars. It shows a little, patriotic love, yada yada.
You know what? In this world, there's no local anymore. For example, in Russia, all those global brands have plants like, I don't know, Volkswagen. I worked for Volkswagen several years. I know that Volkswagen and all other brands has factories here all around the country. So you don't need to be 100% local. If you have a plant in your country, it's your brand. So you should keep going with those brands. It's the easiest way, because otherwise investment costs would be higher than your expectations. So you should definitely continue going with those local produced cars.
All right. Well, local produced cars, acting, smoking, we got everything covered here. I think
It's a melting pot.
It's a melting pot of everything, and I think it's time for me to take a drink. So I'm going to leave it there for you. Thank you so much for tuning in at Casa Agave this Friday.
Okay, lovely stuff. Looks very swanky there. Have a very pleasant evening, Lucy. Thank you.